Hey everyone, coming to you for your astrotherapy update for the week of March 17th. Happy St. Patty's. I wish everybody luck. So Monday and Tuesday, the moon is in Scorpio. And on Monday, it's squaring off with Pluto in Aquarius. So the invitation here is to recognize what is yours to carry versus what are you or what have you maybe picked up or been impacted by for the collective energy. That eclipse just brought through a massive amount of energy. I know a lot of people I'm talking to are really feeling this physically, emotionally, mentally. So, lean into understanding what is your work and, what do you maybe need to set aside because it's not really yours. It's just a collective vibration. On Tuesday, the moon in Scorpio is making some sweeter aspects with Mars in Cancer and Saturn in Pisces. So this is all about the bones of the past, right? Assessing what are you holding on to? What do you maybe need to set down what's emotionally stunting your growth, perhaps? What do you need to process to come into a more stable home, a stable space of action to feel emotionally balanced, right? It is this shadow work and processes of cleansing and clearing what is no longer serving you in a responsible way. So on Wednesday, the moon in Scorpio is opposing Uranus and Taurus. With that, right, these two are sister signs. Whereas Taurus rules what we're consuming, Scorpio rules what we're letting go of. So when we think about these two in opposite cycles, Scorpio wants to move through these things in a space of deeper connection, deeper understanding. It wants to kind of unearth the mystery. It's okay to go through the things that might feel more emotionally taboo. But Uranus and Taurus, while it also kind of it wants things to be processed and done in a stable way, in a tangible way, right? Where Scorpio is working with the emotional body, not so tangible. Taurus is like, I don't understand that. Can't we just do this differently and have that be okay? So just know if you're feeling any sort of internal conflict there on Wednesday, it could be those two sides of the coin. So maybe you take a look at both sides of this, right? Taurus, what am I consuming? What am I taking in, right? Versus and what do I want to hold? What's going to nourish me? What's going to nourish my body, my soul, my mind? And then on the Scorpio side, what do I need to let go of because this is no longer nourishing me? I've soaked up everything I could from this and now it's just lingering around, taking up space. Also on Wednesday, we have a Cazimi with the Pisces sun in its last degrees with Neptune also in Pisces. So they will sit over top one another, illuminating truth versus illusion. It'll also could lead to maybe a little bit of awakenings and understandings. It could lead to creative inspiration even. So maybe as you're processing on the Scorpio side, can you turn this processing into some form of art, to turn it into something tangible in the 3D, to work with that Taurus energy, right? Turn it into something you can consume and really create and birth. So it's a really nice time for those insights. See if you can lean in, right, to a bit of self-acceptance and compassion for all parts of yourself, all of the different views and all of the duality that we hold as humans. So on Thursday, we're ushering in the start of Aries season, the beginning of a new astrological new year. Right? So coming from Wednesday, using that 29th degree of mastery, of pause, of the void in those Piscean energies with the Sun and Neptune Cazimi, right? use that space for pause, because as we come into Thursday, it's the spring equinox. So some things that you can do to maybe honor this new cycle, right? It's a new year, it's rebirth. Perhaps you check back in with your goals from January. What did you set for yourself? What needs to be reassessed, considering that both Venus and Mercury are in retrograde in the sign of Aries as well? Check in on those. What do you still want to pursue? What are you still passionate about? And what are you like, wow, I really thought I was going to be into that, but I haven't taken any action on it, so maybe I'm just not that inspired to pursue that. So check in on those. There might be a cleansing of the house, both spiritually, physically. This is a great day to do that. Honor the time with some prayer or a good meal. And really resetting intentions. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's the seed as it pops up, the first bloom of spring, that initiated action that we're taking. It's passionate, it's independent, it's bold, right? To come from this tiny little seed pocket and sprout above ground. Wow, there's lots around that could happen to that little bloom in its vulnerable state. But Aries says it's okay. I'm going to put myself out there and do it anyways. There can be a little bit of a need for instant gratification, maybe a little impulsiveness. So lean into pausing and think before you act or speak and before you make decisions. So because we do have those retrogrades going on right now, but you can really think of this as a sweet time of rebirth. And to really reflect on what am I birthing for this new astrological new year. All right, on Friday, the moon in Sagittarius has a few aspects that are happening. So it is trine with Chiron and Aries, which means do something that feels freeing. Do something that you're passionate about, something where maybe you can move your body, have a little bit of fun, have a little bit of play, maybe seek some new experiences. However, the moon in Sagittarius is squaring off with the Piscean energies, Neptune and Saturn. So don't shut out your emotion, right? There may be a bit of an inclination to say, ooh, those emotions feel way too dense and heavy. I want to detach from that. I don't even want to deal with them. So I'm just going to keep continuing to move in this direction. But really, there is a need to pause for just a moment and figure out, because our emotions tell us what unmet needs we do or don't have. So with that, check in emotionally. Are you on the right path, or are you just kind of impulsively blazing forward? Right? Understand, do you have a deeper connection with what you're seeking right now? And then on Saturday, the moon is going to enter into Capricorn. That is squaring off with our Aries energies, the Sun, Mercury, and Venus. So Capricorn wants to plan. Aries is like gut instincts, baby, I got this, let's go. I know what to do. So with that being said, follow those gut instincts, follow what drives you, follow what inspires you, but maybe there's time for a pause to check in with the Capricorn influences to say, is this in alignment with my goals? And are the choices that I'm making in alignment with those goals and values that I've set for myself as well? The Sun and Venus and Aries are also going to make a conjunction on Saturday. So it's really a sweet time to reassess and reevaluate your connections, your finances, right? What are you investing in? What are you, do you love what you're invested in? Do you appreciate where things are at? Or do you maybe need to back up and choose a different direction? Have you exhausted yourself in the connections or value systems that you have created? Last but not least, we get to Sunday. The moon is in Capricorn and it's opposite Mars in Cancer. So the idea here around this particular aspect, don't should yourself. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? There's a lot of things we think maybe we should be doing to progress forward, right? That Capricorn moon is going to feel good if it gets things checked off the list. But Mars in Cancer understands that it's not just about checking it off the list, it's about having a connection to what you're doing. And just because things should go in a certain way, sometimes that's not how they always play out. So can you back up and give yourself a space to act in a way that comes from your intuition and your heart on this day? And then the Capricorn moon is making some sweet aspects to the planets that we have remaining in Pisces, so Saturn, and to Uranus and Taurus. So maybe use the Taurus and the Piscean energy as a gateway to bridge the gap between the Cancerian opposition, right? So both Cap and Cancer are looking for a bit of stability in their little arena here. So perhaps, Taurus, Uranus, and Taurus can bring through. How can that happen? And Pisces is going to say, well, allow for this to come from your intuition. Maybe it's creative. Maybe it's something a little new that you haven't necessarily tried before. It might not fit in a small container or a box, right? Talking about the Uranus energy, innovation, and doing things in a way that maybe aren't so conventional, where Capricorn is ruled by tradition. So allow for those signs to really support bridging the to-do list and the emotional gap that might be happening on Sunday. That's all for this week. I'll catch you guys next Monday. I hope that you have a lovely week and celebrate the spring equinox and the new season, new year, as you see fit, and hopefully that's sweet and it's comforting.